journal Science, one in 2006, Lin et al., and one in 2008, Chivian et al., for those of you who want to look up the references. And let me first ask you a question. I told you earlier about the hydrothermal vent ecosystems, and I'm sure many of you know a great deal about this, black smokers powering ecosystems like that. Is this life without the sun? There is no sunlight at the floor of the ocean, so is this life without the sun? Yes or no? How many people think yes? How many people think no? Okay, the answer is no. Now, why is the answer no? Well, although this ecosystem doesn't use sunlight directly, it does use sunlight indirectly. The way it uses sunlight indirectly is that this ecosystem is dependent upon oxygen that is dissolved in the bottom waters of the oceans. Now, where does that oxygen come from? That oxygen is produced by photosynthetic organisms, plants, cyanobacteria, and other organisms that produce that oxygen photosynthetically, either at the surface of the ocean or on the surface of land. That oxygen then dissolves in the surface water of the oceans, and the ocean water circulates. The ocean waters move from the equator, where it's warm, they move toward the poles, up near Iceland and down near Antarctica. Those oxygenated surface waters sink to the bottom of the ocean, and then they flow back toward the equator, but this time along the bottom of the ocean. So these organisms are using that oxygen, and that oxygen was a product of the photosynthetic biosphere. So even though these ecosystems don't use the sun directly, they do use a product of the photosynthetic biosphere, so in essence they are powered by the sun indirectly. However, our investigators found an ecosystem that is completely independent of the photosynthetic biosphere. The investigators that led the team were Lisa Pratt, a professor at Indiana University in the United States, and T.C. Onstad, a professor at Princeton University in the U.S. And what they found was an ecosystem in a gold mine in South Africa, 2.8 kilometers underground. Now, what this ecosystem is composed of is it's composed of a sulfate-reducing bacterium. Now, sulfate-reducing bacteria do exactly what their name suggests. That is, they reduce sulfate to sulfide, and that is their basic metabolism. Now, in this case, in this gold mine, what happened was they were drilling a new horizontal tunnel to try to tap into another gold seam, and they came across a crack in the rocks that had not been exposed before, and water started gushing out of the cracks. Well, you can measure the water